I love this effect. I really do. I already got this footage, downloaded it from ArtGrid. It's just, I actually saw there's loads and loads of clips from this session that these two lads did, and they're great dancers. But I selected this clip for a number of things. The number of times he's moving around, he's hitting the ground, and it's this effect that I can't wait to work with. So yeah, let's do it. So we've got the clip in here. We're going to right click and we're going to create a new sequence from the clip, and we're going to go into our lovely After Effects, because it's another After Effects effect. Hold down Alt, duplicate it. You should know by now. Right click and replace with After Effects composition. Now this has not, I've not opened up After Effects, so we're going to say this is a new composition. Hopefully it's got the place where we normally save it. Good, Premiere Pro, animations. And I'm just going to call this Scribble effect. This is just a standalone After Effects animation for this. And it's really quite easy to do this. I love it. You can be as meticulous or not as much as you want. You can use your mouse. You can use a graphics tablet. I've got a graphics tablet where you can use like a pen as well. I'm just going to use the mouse for now, just to kind of, so, you know, everyone's at least got a mouse or a touchpad. And to start this off, we're going to double click so we get into the actual clip. Okay. So start from the beginning. And what we need first is we need paint. If we go into Window and we select Paint here, you're probably not going to have it here. We're going to click Paint here, and then we're going to select exactly what we want. And now that we've got Paint open, it's all grayed out. Well, that's because you can't paint with a pointer, can you? And although this is a scribble effect, what it's called the scribble effect, what we need is we need the brush tool. So up here, we click the brush tool, and the minute we click it, keep an eye on here, you click it and boom, we're here and we're done and we're ready. So first and foremost, if you draw with your brush tool, as you can see, we have a squiggle. Control Z to undo that. And so first we need to decide what we're doing, what size we want our brush and what color we want our brush. You can change the color later on, but it's easier to do it at this point. So, okay, what do we want? Well, we want, do we want kind of a color that's in this scene, or do we want one that contrasts it? This has a kind of a blue hue in it. So I'm thinking maybe a hot pink. I don't know. I'm just a sucker for a hot pink in stuff like this. I'm going to go for maybe this. I absolutely love hot pink. So as you can see here, we're now, yeah, that's good. Is that the right size? I think so. Maybe size it up a little bit. As you can see, once we brought in paint, brushes has come up as well. Not too sure if it's when you bring up paint or when you click on the brush, but if we click here, this opens up the brushes below and you can kind of change it. You can change the diameter. The quick selections here, so 13, 17, 21. These are really different sizings here. This is 24. Happy. I quite like that size actually. Roundness is 100%. You can actually make it like it's almost like a calligraphy pen if you wanted to maybe write some lettering. I swear I could be a doctor if I was clever enough with that kind of handwriting, but no, we're gonna have it just 13, roundness of 0. In fact, I'm going to go 21. Does it say 21? Yeah, I quite like that. And yeah, everything's fine. Pen pressure is good if you're actually using a pen, but for this, it's not really going to matter. So we just start to draw. And what we're going to do is we're going to be drawing frame by frame. And the only thing we need to change before we start scribbling or drawing or painting is that we need to set the duration. Now, what often happens, if we just come out of here and we put in maybe some kind of graphic like text, click on here, it creates it for the full duration. We've touched on that before. What we don't want is we don't want full duration, and by default that's what this will be. So we go back to the brush tool, and for duration we want it single frame. Okay, so what we draw will only be on for a single frame. Let's just double click on this again to get into the actual layer, and I'm just going to scrub until I see somewhere where I want, and play, boom, boom, maybe there, maybe as he comes up. And what we need to do is you need to this takes a little bit of thought really, and you want to kind of anticipate. I want to kind of do it almost like he's kicked the floor and go boom and trace him up and then trace the other one. So, well, we need to start somewhere, so let's start now. So now you want to use your page up and page down keys to go forward a frame and back a frame. If you don't have page up or page down, by the way, if you hold down Control on your keyboard and press right, it will do the same thing. You just need to use 2 keys rather than 1. But I use the page up and page down, and just as he comes there, I'm just going to do a little line there, okay? And then if I go a few frames, you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to move my mouse just here. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to have it here for like kind of an effect. That's there, I'd say. And then go again. And I'm going to go here, just 3. So if I play that back now, it's kind of, that's just a moment, isn't it? Boom. But if we kind of do that and also, let's just get to that frame again. And as he comes off, I'm just going to draw a line. And then I'm going to go again, and it's a bit further up, draw a line. A bit further on, draw a line. And maybe another one there. And as he's come there, I'm going to go back now. And as his left foot starts to follow it, I'm going to do similar. I think that's enough there. Play that back and okay. So you can see where we're going here. I'm now going to take his hands into perspective or into consideration even. Again, let's just go frame by frame. Watch what his hands are doing. That's starting to move there. So I'm going to maybe draw a little squiggle here. Go down again. Maybe another squiggle there. Another squiggle there. Another squiggle there. Oh, let's just undo that. Let's get another squiggle maybe there. I'm happy with that. Let's look at his backhand. His backhand goes, do a little arc here, a little arc here, another little arc here. Maybe shorter as it's slowing down. Even shorter. That's good. Let's play that back and see what we've got. Okay, I'm happy with that so far. And now let's just pick out these little things. So he's kind of hit here. So we're going to repeat that bit again. Come out here. We've just traced another one as if to accentuate what he's just done there. Let's just go back and get that back foot. Boom. He's hit there. The shock wave goes to about here and to about here. And then I want to get maybe that movement. Do I want to get that movement as he's moving that back? I'm going forward and back, as you can see. I'm just going to draw a little line there, little line there, little line there. And as he's, yeah, we got that. He's pushing down. Just going to get this movement here, 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 here. Good. Let's just play back and see what we've got so far. Let's get those arms again. Got that. Looking at this arm now. We go maybe something like this, something like this, something like this. Trying a little bit different now. As you can see, it doesn't necessarily have to be that accurate. Play that back, see how that looks. Good. I want to get this bit. I'm dying to get this bit. So let's get it as he sets his feet. It's one there, one there. I'd love a bit more room down here, but we don't have that. So we're working with what we have. Come out here, come out there, come out there. It's not really worth it. There. And he's moving his head there forward. So I'm going to get that as well. And here he goes. I'm going to get this now. So that first starts. We're going to do a line there, line there, line there, trying to kind of follow where he's come from. And a little line there, long line there, little line there, longer line there. You see how it's just kind of trying to remember where it had been. Let's kind of come around there. Wow, his foot is really... No, that's really... I mean, I know I said don't have to be accurate, but you can be a little bit more accurate than that. Let's play that back and see if that's the effect we want. What was that around his head there? Boom. What is that? No, that doesn't work at all, does it? And if we don't like something, if we come down to U, we come down to here, go down to Effects, Paint, and you kind of look for it really. So if we go back to Selection, and it's this bit here, this right here, and it's 50, so I'm just going to delete that. Boom. And if we go forward again, and that's probably 51, is it? Yeah, and delete that. Because you're creating little brushes on every single thing. There's no more there, was it? It was just the 2. Oh no, it's that one as well, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Select that. That's 49. Get rid of that. And good. So if we just want to close this up, you see how many strokes we've created there though. And come back here, play that through. What else does he do? Okay, now I want to get this bit as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to trace him, because this is always a really good effect as well. We're still in here. Good. We've got a brush, and watch this now. This is a great effect. So we're just going to, oh, yeah, we need to be a little bit more accurate. Let's just trace the outside of his body. Okay, so tracing that round to his other leg. And I'm going to trace him up there, round, and here, maybe the outside of his arm, bottom of his foot. I'm just going to come around here and down here. And then we're just going to repeat that. So we're going to come all the way up there, round the top, round here. You can imagine the fun you can have with this. Like we're just, it's as accurate or as inaccurate as you want to be. And sometimes the least accurate effects are the better, or at least have more of that scribble effect. I guess that's why it's called a scribble effect. It literally is just it's not a perfect outline. If it was a perfect outline, you'd use a different tool. You'd use like a quick selection or something like that. But with this, we're just literally getting an idea of his outline. And I'll speed this bit up until I get to a frame that I like, and we'll see how it looks at the end. And so after that, you pray and you hope and you think, oh, has it worked? And we get through that and we get to this bit and you think, right, has all those frames, has that been worth it? Let's play it back. Let's watch it together and see if we think it was worth it. Looks good, doesn't it? I love it. So at this point, I started tracing him out, and after a little while, I thought, right, let's just go back to the legs and the head because they're coming out wide. I'm just going to, I like the fact that his hat goes flying out. Let's go back a few frames, and as his hat comes away from him, I'm just going to draw around it. I love this effect. It can be used as much or as little as you like. I know this is kind of like pointing out, dude, your hat fell off, but you know, it's all fine. And actually, I'm going to, and I'll draw that around there like that. The beauty is you can create, you can go back and you can do more. So as it starts to go off, I'm going to kind of maybe do some almost like a whoosh. To kind of give it maybe the added speed, maybe. That could work. And the thing is, once you start getting into this thing, right, I'm going to animate that, or I'm going to scribble around that, you start thinking, how far down the rabbit hole do I want to go? I just want to do a few more as if it's gone off the screen. Take that back. Get all that sequence. Brilliant. Obviously, you could go through the whole footage. I'm going to Control and S there. Come back. I'm just going to add another little bit to this, and that is just a little bit. I know we've had a bit of movement with this movement in the camera, but if I select this and get the scale to 100 and maybe take the scale to maybe 120, so it's kind of zooming out as well. I don't think I'll need to pre-render that actually. Let's just play that through. I do have to. Sometimes you start getting things like this. I think there's an update with regards to the GPU on my system. The good thing is any kind of stuff that you see on a screen like that, I've started getting like some kind of screen tearing. So you kind of get lines through it, not the line that you saw, but kind of like it's offset a little bit. It's always important to remember that that kind of thing doesn't come out in your render. It's just kind of in the playback, and it can be quite frustrating. But this is what happens when you're using newer products. Like my GPU is only about 6 months old, my graphics card. So there's always updates going for that. There's updates for everything. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind. If you start seeing artifacts that you think, oh, that's not quite right, best thing to do first is to render out, pre-render, see if it's still there. But then again, that's not always tried and tested. You may then need to render out just to see if those artifacts are there. And as I've pre-rendered, that's still there. So what I'm going to do is just to prove to you, just so there's no doubting, I'm just going to pre-render this. And I'm just going to go to my renders here, and I'm going to render this out as a dancing scribble. Hit enter. I'm going to queue that up in my encoder. Bring that in. We haven't actually shown exporting in a while. As you can see, we can't see those lines there in the playback as it's rendering. But once this is rendered, I'll show you this back, and we should all be good to go. And as you can see, if I've just brought this into my VLC player to play back. Don't forget VLC player. I'll leave a link actually in the course for this because it's just brilliant. It works on both Mac and PC, and it's a great lightweight media player. It does audio and video, and it plays back pretty much anything you throw at it. So it doesn't have to worry about codecs or anything like that. But as you can see, there's no artifacts on here. It's just the full-on funness of this cool dancing fella. I just love this effect, the scribble effect. It's brilliant. So yeah, don't worry if you see any kind of playback artifacts or anything like that. It's still there. It's all cool. And it looks great. I love the scribble effect. And I hope you do too. You can make so many fun things. I just love it.